Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, deep diving in on some yellow-purple aura combination stuff with my guest, Christi Lukasiak from Dance Moms. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. That's fantastic because, as you know, I am a huge Dance Mom fan.
I know.
I've watched every episode.
Yeah, that phase you had for a while.
Yeah. It was on, what was it on? Discovery Channel?
Lifetime.
Oh,
yeah.
Lifetime. Okay.
Yeah, you're a big Lifetime
History
fan.
Channel. And you know I wanted to be a dancer, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was a period in my life where I did want to dance. And hopefully I'll get some tips here today.
I think she could give you some tips and help you and advocate for you to be soloists.
I think that's where I went wrong. I mean, I was a great dancer, but I didn't have someone advocating for me.
You didn't have a dance mom.
No, I didn't have a yellow purple.
Yeah.
Speak on my behalf.
You needed like a dance mom vibe behind you.
I needed that, yes. Because, I definitely did.
Yeah.
Well,
we got her on further.
Yeah. Well, we got her in the green room.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. And I noticed right off the bat, now, you don't know this, but some of our guests, they're a little messy. They leave things in the green room.
It's true.
The green room, first of all, it's not green, and it's not that big.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, I see her picking up some chalk that Jamie left.
Yeah.
And she's actually staring at a purple bomb that Amanda left.
Whoa.
So, I don't know. It's actually a thing. It's
Yeah.
really weird. But speaking of podcasts, this is... you love my segues.
I do.
So, we'll let her get ready, and then, we'll call her in.
Yeah.
So... As you know, or maybe you don't know, you get many, many requests to be on people's podcasts.
I love it. I love going on people's podcasts.
Yeah.
When I can.
Yeah. And you get I would, I don't even tell you. I mean, I field at least, 2-3 of these a day.
Aww.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of things, a lot of requests. And the other day, Jemmy, our old producer from the show.
Yes.
We absolutely adore.
We started off with, yes. From
she,
Flintstone Media.
Yes. We hit it off right from the beginning.
Yeah.
We were looking for someone just to show us how to turn on a recorder.
Yes.
And of course she did a lot more than that.
Yes.
And I showed you her picture, and you told me she was a blue.
Yeah.
And you said, yep, that's the one. And I called her right away, and we hit it off right from the start.
Yeah, she got us the Know Your Aura journey started.
Right. So she calls me the other day and, says, I have a question to ask you. I'm like, okay, all right, sure. It's probably something, she wanted to know something technical. She wanted my advice on
right, that's what people call you for usually.
Yeah, that's what people usually record me for. So she was, I took the call, we caught up, it was great. And then she starts going into, she has a new podcast on her network. And, and I'm just waiting for it. That, we'd love to have Mystic Michaela as the guest, the inaugural guest. That's what I'm used to. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, my God, I got her scheduled for, I think I got 3 interviews coming up for you scheduled. And I'm like, it's Jemmy. And how am I going to, say no to Jemmy? Or how am I going to kind of brush her off and tell her we can't do it for a long time?
Yeah. But
so I was getting actually panicky.
Yeah.
And, because we love her.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the call, she goes, and we'd like to have you as a guest.
You mean?
Yeah. And at first I'm like,
Scott.
Yeah. And at first I actually started talking about how you couldn't make it. And then I realized, I'm like, wait, me? You want me to be the guest?
Wow, Scott.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, I didn't know what to say. This is actually, of all the inquiries we've gotten, and there are literally hundreds, I have never been asked to be a guest.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. I mean, they should be asking me because I'd probably say yes. But this was the first time.
This is great.
Yeah. So it was very exciting. And it's for her brother's podcast. And we actually recorded. So it was a little weird.
What was the topic?
You.
That's funny.
It was you. We talked about you for about an hour.
Well, probably like
40 minutes.
How you do the whole side, what your side of things is in this.
Yeah, sure. But no, it was mostly about you.
Oh.
A little bit about me in there. But it was funny because, usually, I'm setting you up for the interview.
Yes.
And
in the office with the computers, and there's like a lot of wires.
Right.
And yes.
Right. And you do all the technical stuff.
I do. I'm not that good at it, but
you're the better of the two
I'm better
of us.
at yes. I win in a competition.
Head down.
But I'm still not good, so it's bad.
Right. So I'm horrible, and you're like less horrible.
Yes, that's exactly how I would describe us.
It was funny the other day. We actually had to.
Oh my god.
Mr. Michaela had to call our producer, our current one, Adam
from
in
Wave.
a panic because we couldn't get the
God.
recorder to work, and it was just a loose cord.
It was just a loose cord. I mean, that's what he's dealing with.
Yeah. So
he was so sweet.
He was very nice.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Adam. But anyway, and usually I like to try to make you. So for me, what I do for you, because you're the indigo and I'm the red, I try to have all your needs taken care of.
You're so sweet.
I bring you the Diet Coke,
Yeah.
a little bit of ice.
Yeah.
I kind of give you a little back massage.
Yeah, you're
sometimes.
the indigo whisperer. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I get we have a nice quiet hour before.
Yeah, you let me
the
nap.
interview. You get nap. Yeah, I get a nap in, and everything is good to go. And then, but it was weird now because now it's like, hey, it's and I have the kids probably I got to watch or whatever.
Yes.
And now comes 3:30 the other day. It's my turn to sit in the chair.
Yes.
And I'm like, well,
And you have way more needs than I ever do.
But
Because you have like sensory issues too.
That's true.
So it's like exactly where the microphone has to be and
Yeah.
like the seat temperature and like all sorts of stuff.
Right. I mean, because I'm fidgeting with I'm fidgeting with everything. I'm like, the mic's too low, so I take a textbook, then I take another textbook.
Yeah, then it's like the wrong textbook. And
Yeah, then I got to do it on Skype. I don't know our Skype handle.
you don't understand Skype at all.
Don't understand it.
You don't even know how Skype works. Like you
No
kept
idea.
saying, so when I talk, they can hear me. I'm like, yeah. Like they just hear you. Like when I open, like I'm like, it's the same as Zoom. It's just called Skype. Like you just had like some hard.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
I didn't know if I paid the bill or not. I didn't know if we.
It's free. Skype
free.
is
Okay.
free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all that's going on.
Right.
I did have my coffee, so I knew how to bring the drink, so that was prepared. Mm-hmm. And then they wanted me to wear headphones,
Oh, you can't do that.
but I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like too weird. I hate.
Like you
not
get really
hearing.
weird. You just get weird.
Yeah, I even told I'm like Jimmy, I'm not wearing the headphones. They're like, come on, Scott. I'm like, no, I'm not wearing the headphones.
Yeah.
Just because it's so sensory for me. But so it was kind of a weird role reversal.
Yeah, I loved it.
But it was.
I
it was
played
fun.
outside with Abby and
Yeah. What did you get? Like Papa Chalky milk on the bench outside?
no kids. Actually, you know what?
They come up to you.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like I just sit out there and they're all talking to me. I'm like, I don't know who you've been dealing with. Like, but you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't play with you. You know what I mean? I make sure you don't get hit by cars, and I provide chalk
Right.
and things, but I don't like play. I'm not playing with
So, like-
the neighborhood kids. You must play with them because they're all like, hey.
Yeah.
Like they're waiting for entertainment. I'm like, no, I provide protection, but not entertainment.
Like they aren't yelling at you, cap, no cap.
No, nobody's
right.
no Gen Z language.
No
lingo.
Jersey. All right. Well, maybe you're not getting the full experience that I do when I'm out there.
For sure.
But it was really.
I can't wait to hear it.
It was really neat. I can't wait to hear it too.
Yeah.
I forgot what I said.
We'll
but
provide the links.
We'll definitely
so people
provide
can
the
hear your
link.
first podcast interview outside of here. That's so exciting.
Yes. All right. Let's do a little aura splaining.
Yes,
because
aura splain.
Christi is still cleaning up the green room.
All right, let's do that. But first, let's have a little chat about some of our lovely sponsors. Talking about Skillshare today, I absolutely love learning new things that otherwise I normally would never have the opportunity to learn. It broadens my horizons. It makes me think different. It makes me change and challenge my perspective all over in other places in my life. And Skillshare is just this wonderful context in which to do it. There's so many classes to choose from. It's crazy. Right now, I am trying something new. I'm going to try Photoshop, Intro to Digital Painting, Procreate to Photoshop, a beginner-friendly guide with Mimi Chow. Going to give it a shot. Going to try it. In the past, I've done like iPhone photography during the stay-at-home orders. My daughter and I did a calligraphy class. There's just countless things you can learn and try on here to just make yourself learn something new. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning, with so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives. Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. These are real people teaching you these things in tiny little mini lessons, so it's never overwhelming. At the end, you know a new skill. And there's a lot of people you can interact with and see their examples and get ideas from. It's really cool. You bring color and beauty and fun to your year. Add vivid details and craft complex wonders. You amaze yourself with what you can do. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshops. An annual subscription An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. But guess what? You can explore your creativity at Skillshare.com/KYA and get a free trial of premium membership. That's Skillshare.com/KYA. You won't be disappointed. It's always something new over on Skillshare. I love this one. She's Birdie. I've talked about how there's this park around my house and it's in the wetlands. And I haven't gone back in I want to say 2 years, because I went, I went and I was walking by myself and I got approached by somebody and he just freaked me out and I was alone. And I thought about that after, I think you're in a situation like that and you're like, okay, and you get out of it, but what if? And that what if it just paralyzes you. And I haven't been back since this week because now I have She's Birdie. Birdie is a personal safety alarm designed to be easy to carry and simple to use. When you activate your Birdie with a quick pull, the alarm will emit a loud 130 decibel siren and flashing strobe light to help deter an attack. It is loud, you guys. Unlike pepper spray or other deterrents, Birdie is no danger to you. Feel confident to use it without the worry. Birdie goes wherever you go. The alarm comes in multiple colors. I got it in indigo, my aura color, and has a brass keychain, so you can attach it to your keys or bag. It's very cute looking. Over 300,000 Birdie alarms have been sold, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. Join the flock today for a safer tomorrow. It's just peace of mind. That's what it is. It's a really great peace of mind that you can take care of yourself. Right now, She's Birdie is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase when you go to shesbirdie.com/KYA. Go to She's Birdie, spelled SHESBIRDIE.com/KYA for 15% off your first purchase. That's shesbirdie.com/KYA.
All right, so I think while we're just kind of waiting for Christi to finish up, she's actually now taking our Halloween costumes and she's actually steam drying them. I don't know.
Steaming them?
Yeah, steaming them.
Yeah, that's what yellow people do. They steam things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's weird because I haven't worn that Spider-Man costume in many, many years. But all right. But we're going to aura explain.
Okay.
While we wait for her. All right. So we picked these at random. Here we go.
From the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family Facebook page, we have a thread on there for aura explaining, and we randomly just pick some of these sometimes. And let's figure them out together.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Now, our first one, Elsie, loves Jumanji. So if you are playing Jumanji, and I've actually taken... Before we even start this, I've been taking criticism lately. At least 2 people have reached out to me and said I don't say Jumanji enough.
Oh, my gosh.
And they're disappointed because, one person was using it to kind of get their boyfriend in the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I said it only twice during the episode.
Yeah.
So there was just 2 socks came off.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a bust evening for her.
I don't really encourage you ever to use it or play it, but that could be part of it.
All right. All right, so Elsie writes, please aura explain this man. Though he was... Thought. Sorry.
It's like reading with Abby.
I'm back in kindergarten. Thought he was red due to the fact he, Jumanji, is the military. That's in the thing.
She wrote all the Jumanjis.
She wrote all the Jumanjis.
Yes.
All right, we'll start this one over.
Yes,
please aura explain this man. Thought he was red due to the fact that he, #Jumanji, is in the military, but the more I grow to know him, I learn that, #Jumanji, he is the opposite of most military men I've known. He's so caring, compassionate, and open-minded, and makes me, #Jumanji, feel seen. He's my diamond in the rough, and there's a nice picture of him with her and the dog.
All right, so what do you think about this, Scott?
Okay.
Or explain it.
All right, I mean... if I'm starting off the bat and I hear a guy's in the military or even a woman's in the military, I'm probably thinking right off, red. I'm probably my first inclination is to go with red if I'm doing a colder reading.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it seems that, if I look at his picture, I don't really see that red so much. And again, I don't see colors around people. But his vibe does not look red to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because he's, kind of cuddling with the dog or not.
Yeah.
But, so I would say he's probably not a red.
What does that mean? He feels kind of like what? Your interaction with him would feel how?
Yeah, I feel like he would be someone that you can kind of like talk to. He would be a compassionate type person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't feel like you could tell him like really deep things and he wouldn't judge like that.
Yes. I get that from him. Yeah. He seems like a really nice person from the picture.
So what I noticed about the military is that they do tend to take in it is a red organization, and usually people who go into it get red on them for a while, even if they don't have it, because that's what happens in any form of like military service. Like they kind of break you down and build you back up so that you fit within the system, which you have to in order to succeed in that system. But how they recruit a lot of times are people that do not know what the heck else they want to do. It's just how it goes. Like a lot of people, a lot of young men and women enter at a stage of their life like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to get a real job. I don't want to go to school. I don't have a lot of money. I do want to serve. I don't know what I want to do. I want to do something special or important with my life. So they get a lot of empaths. They really do. And he's purple blue. They get a lot of empaths, and I think his purple kind of was like, okay, I get to see the world. His blue's like, okay, I can absorb whatever they're teaching me. And it's just kind of like when you don't know what else to do and you feel like you need structure and whatnot, the military can really provide that for people.
Okay. Does he... Now, from this picture, do you see any inauthentic red?
No, I think he's honestly, like, he got out and he's like, done.
Okay.
Like, and that's the other thing, like, sometimes when you're done with it, like, your contract's up or however that works, when he's out of it, like, when it's over for him, he'll be done with it. Unless he's in some sort of, like, teaching capacity or something, like, where he can interact with people and just, like, have friendships and relationships in that way. But, as for, like, kind of more leadership or like that,
Fantastic.
Probably not for him.
Right. Well, thank you, Elshie.
Thanks, Elshie.
Thank you for all the Jumanjis. There's someone deep in the woods in Canada with their man that thanks you.
Next.
I don't know if that even made sense.
No,
but all right.
But go ahead.
Kara. All right. Kara writes.
Kara R.
Would love to be aura-splained. I worked somewhere for years and was losing myself, felt completely drained mentally and physically. I was comfortable not having any change and actually scared of it. Then I randomly decided to go to beauty school on a whim, and after that didn't work out, went into the manager's office and put my 2 weeks in and never went back after being done there. I did go through a 25-year-old crisis, or did I go through a 25-year-old crisis, or does this have to do with my aura colors? And she sent in a picture of her and a kind of a baby boy. I don't know how old, but
cute,
very cute picture.
Looks like 1.
Yeah, he looks around 1.
So what do you think happened there? Or explain.
Okay, so I mean, again, looking at her picture, I mean, she looks very nice. I'm gonna definitely go with she's probably a blue or an indigo.
Okay.
Why close on that?
Yeah, just how you. No, just or explain it based on what she told you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not the expert here.
No, I know, but like we all have to kind of learn how to.
Yeah, I mean the scare, the fear of the change.
Yes.
Is. I don't know. That's throwing me off a little bit with this one.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all scared of change.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if we don't have confidence in ourselves, we don't trust our own decisions. And usually, like indecisive people, are blues.
Yeah.
Like, so you're picking up the blue thing is the indecisive. Like I don't know what's best for me. I don't know what I want.
Right.
Like that kind of thing.
Okay, and then the kind of the beauty school. And the whim, I mean, that reminds me of purple stuff.
So she purple bombed it a little.
Like purple bombing.
Yeah, she just wanted out. She's like, I'm going to beauty school. And then she's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
So I would say purple blue.
Purple blue.
Yeah, but she is purple blue. But even if I heard that, I'd be like, that sounds purple blue. Like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's purple blue. And that's a lot of us go through those crises. And they're not really, I guess it is a crisis, but it's also just how you figure yourself out. And I think when we're in those messy spots, we can absorb, especially when we're empaths, like other people's interpretations of it, and it can get even worse then.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the good news on this one for Kara, she's 25. When I was 25, I was, throwing eggs at customers from Domino's and going to jail.
The arrest story.
Yeah, the arrest story. And I just didn't figure out what I wanted to do until about, yesterday. So, Kara, you're doing good.
That was his pep talk to you.
That was my pep talk to you. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's go to the next one. All right. Julissa
P.
Julissa P. I'll say the picture first. She's on top of on a rock, on a mountain. She looks like really cool. The clouds are like coming out of her head. She's got these cool sunglasses
picture,
on.
yeah.
Cool picture. All right. Or explain me this, please. A lot of EASs. I've recently been struggling with whether to believe I'm an empath or not. In my heart, I feel I've always been. I check all the boxes for being one. I'm too sensitive, intuitive. Things like large groups, even the news, are super overwhelming for me. I have to be emotionally ready to watch certain shows or movies or even listen to music that I know will have me crying like a baby. Even happy things like weddings, births, and practicing gratitude can be too overwhelming. However, ... there are times recently that I feel nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like I'm numb to the sadness. Hearing even the most tragic story will have no effect. Then I'm left questioning whether I'm even empathic. I practiced turning off my feelings for years, but I've heard it's not possible for real empaths to do that. Could it just be burnout? I need answers because now I feel more bad about not feeling bad.
Oh, gosh. I hear this a lot from empaths.
Yeah.
The numbness.
For me, yeah, and if I was going to do this, I would have to say there's something inauthentic going on here. I don't know what it would be. This one seems a little bit over my head.
Yeah, she's indigo purple, but she wears inauthentic blue.
Okay.
I'll just say that. Because, like, what it is that she, and here's the thing, you guys, and because I know a lot of you can feel this, like, something can make you cry hysterically, and something that's supposed to be sad, you don't get that overwhelmed about it. Because the thing is like, when you're just, like, extra deep about things, you built up this you'd cry all the time. Like, you feel people all the time. But you've built up this, like, resistance. Otherwise, you can't function. So it can feel a little numb, especially if you're dealing with people too much or your job is in like too much overwhelm or you're not tapping into it or whatnot. It can become a numbness. I also see on the page, like, somebody, more than once, people are saying, like, that they don't have empathy anymore for certain situations that they dealt with themselves in life. So, for example, like, somebody was writing about how I think a family member was an addict and they were really sad about it for years and now they just don't care. That's a survival thing. That's just your brain had to do that so you could move on. It doesn't mean you're not empathic. It means actually the opposite of that. Like, you had to turn it off or you couldn't function anymore. So that's just an inauthentic blue thing for Julissa. Okay. It's just too much and she had to buffer it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one seemed a little real deep. So
yeah, that was a deep one.
Yeah, that was a deep one.
No, I like that one because I know a lot of us feel that way. Like, why am I numb? Why am I not crying? I should be sad. And then, like, other things can happen. You can totally be sad.
All right. We have 2 more to go.
Okay.
Rebecca T. writes, help or explain it to me. And then Jumanji. I guess Jumanji must be a key word to get noticed on this.
Yeah, that helps you.
Jumanji, Red Jasper, and Shakira. Well, now that's a combo. Shakira.
That is a combo.
You talk like that. Okay. What auras have had a hard time choosing or knowing their favorites? I ask this because I get a bit stressed when anyone asks me what my favorite blank is. Favorite band, favorite color, favorite song, favorite actress, favorite book. I never get asked what my favorite is, but she apparently does. Mm-hmm. Favorite movie, favorite TV show. I don't have one, and it makes me uncomfortable trying to pick one. I like many things, but rarely have a true favorite. I feel like I'm supposed to have a quick and defined answer to these fun get-to-know-you questions. Instead, I take forever to wrestle with a decision on what white lie I'll tell in order to claim something as my favorite. And she sent in a picture of her in just a hoodie. Okay.
What do you think?
Well, like I said, I rarely do get asked what my favorite is. I assume that she's like an indigo or a blue, just try to skirt past the question, or maybe she doesn't like, maybe she doesn't like to tell a favorite because she doesn't like to put the other ones down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's just blue.
That could be a blue.
Yeah,
like
indigos definitely have favorite things.
Oh, okay.
But they don't like to share them with people.
Right.
Whereas blues tend to be more, I like everything. And then, and then you feel like you were saying, like, you feel bad if you like one more than the other. Like, I think it's important, Rebecca, to tell people, like, I don't really have favorites. There's so many things I like. It's hard to pin it. Just be honest about it too. It's okay that you don't have favorites. I get that, I get that. I think indigos do sometimes have more favorites, but they're like secret favorites that they can kind of like really put their finger on, and then other things they truly don't care about.
Okay.
But,
she's a blue, maybe. Now, the other thing, like the Jumanji, the Red Jasper, she's kind of funny, maybe.
Yeah, it's purple, too.
Purple.
Yeah.
So another purple blue.
But that's another thing, too. Like, if you find yourself like, I don't know what's my favorite. I know everything's my favorite. Maybe start asking yourself, No, but really, what is it? Like, just in your own head, like, if I had to pick one or just, like, really solidify it. I mean, it's just something, it's a great way to know yourself better, which can be a blue person challenge.
Okay. All right, and our last one is Petro H.
Petro Hanchar?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, he was on the Horse Plane?
Right.
Oh, wow.
He writes, Jumanji, Jumanji, Jumanji. My favorite person in the world and my favorite person on Know Your Aura podcast is Scott. He is fantastic. I really want to spend time with him and get to know him better.
Wow.
Well, this is weird.
That's weird. Isn't that your...
Does he know he's me?
Isn't that your Tinder handle? Was it your Tinder handle?
Yeah.
Petro Hanchar?
Yeah. So it must be an imposter.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Christy's got to be ready by now.
All right, let's talk to Christy.
All right.
Okay, guys, I am here with Christi Lukasiak. Some of you may know her from Dance Moms. She has a really great podcast called Christi's Couch. And she has one of these auras that kind of gets the shaft a lot. And so I wanted to bring her on to talk about all these things and more. Hey, Christy.
Hi. Wait, what do you mean my aura gets the shaft?
It does. Do you okay, so do you know your aura? Do you remember?
I'm a yellow purple, right? Okay.
So, and I was on your podcast, the first episode of your podcast, which was so wonderful. I love your podcast, and we'll get into that. But yeah, yellow purples, because yellows tend to be direct and honest.
Yes, that would be me. I think I'm very guilty of that. Okay.
And purples tend to kind of like drop it like it's hot. Like, you know what? Here's your truth. Here's your truth. I'm going to give it to you, kind of mic drop that. And sometimes the combination also can be like a total war within yourself, like passion versus logic and all that kind of stuff like combined. And I also get a lot of times like yellow women sometimes are very misunderstood by other women. Do you find that?
Oh my God. That's so funny you said that. Yes, because I get, the thing I get the most, or I've gotten the most throughout my life is when people first meet me, they're very off-put. And then when we get to know each other, they're like, oh, you're totally different than I expected. Because they're like, I thought you were a bitch. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, yes, I am a bitch, but I'm also a million other things, But I also will sometimes like just find people that I automatically clash with. And there's just no, there's no middle ground. We just don't like each other.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I often say like purple yellows. I call it like the scan. Whenever I meet a purple yellow, I always have like initial kind of, I don't know, like an anxiety. Cause like, I feel like your aura combo does this thing where you scan people real quick energetically just to figure out if they're your peoples or not. Do you sense yourself doing it? Like, it's not a mean thing. It's just like a millisecond of like, like that a little bit.
Probably. I mean, I feel like I'm a really good judge of character kind of right off the bat. Well, I don't even know if I'm a judge of character like for the world, but I'm a judge of character for me, like in how that person's going to affect me. Does that make sense?
Yes. I love yellow purples. Like other yellow purples, like Jenny McCarthy is a lot like that. Like when I met her, like it's the same kind of vibe. Or
I'm not surprised she's a yellow purple. I'm not surprised about that at all. I had no idea. That's interesting. Okay. What is, if you know off the top of your head, you may not. Yeah. Anna Faris. What is she?
So she's like a tricolor.
Oh, weird.
But but she's got yellow, purple, but she has some blue in there too. Do you feel like her a little bit?
Yeah. I do feel like her a lot, which there's a lot of things that, like I see parallels and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but not surprised about Jenny McCarthy either.
Yeah. But I can see too with you, like being yellow purple, sometimes you might feel like growing up or whatever. And just in life, like, oh, am I not nice enough? Or should I be like, and that's not how you should be. Like, you're fine the way that you are. But I can sometimes see like yellow purples having a lot of like purple shame. Sometimes like, am I attention seeking or am I too direct or everybody else seems so submissive? Like maybe I should.
Yeah, it's like you're reading my mind. That's so funny. You said that I have purple shame. What's funny about this, and I'll let you obviously, take the lead, but when we spoke on my podcast, we talked about how we both have daughters that are very close in age. Mm-hmm. And I just spoke with Clara. She was a guest on my podcast, which seems a little funny, but, people always have questions for her, just like growing up in our family and being in the spotlight. But anyway, I came to find out that there is a lot of Zodiac shaming in 6th grade.
Stop. Like, I have not heard about this. Please explain.
Yes. So it's like they are very much like, I don't like a July, or I don't like an August Leo. July Leos are superior. Like, it's crazy. And they want to know your big 3. They want to know like your rise. I'm like, holy God. Like, these kids are like, I've never... when I was in 6th grade, I was just worried about sneaking into the bathroom, like putting on my blue mascara. And they're like, they want your 3. I was shocked.
Clara's like equipped because you're into this stuff. So Clara's like, oh, okay, my big 3 is, she's got to know it.
Me. Yeah, she totally tells me. And then she also wants to always do my personality test. She's like, Briggs Myers, you're this. And I'm like, oh, Clara.
She's trying to figure you out.
She is trying to figure me out.
Well, she's a yellow blue. I remember her because when I was reading your kids from your I remember she was like this yellow blue. Like, she's like, let me figure you out, Mom. Like, and then tell you about you and then help you.
Yep.
Because that's what yellow blue
100%.
people do. They're like little 100%. Therapists. I like that. Okay. So, oh my God, I have so many things to talk to you about. So you have this Instagram account and it's a business. It's Adulting with Christi. And I absolutely love the account. And and I think like yellows are really good at adulting in a lot of ways. But then I think like you guys are also sometimes perfectionists. So you can have a heart, like imposter syndrome sometimes. You're like, maybe I'm not as good at it as I think I am, but you are. But I wanted to talk about, so where did you come up with this Adulting with Christi? What is that?
Wait. First, you need to get out of my brain. Like, you stop. Everything you're saying, I'm like, like you are revealing my innermost thoughts and secrets. But yes. So it really kind of just came from this. It was a little bit of a journey. It was a quarantine journey, we'll say.
Okay. I love quarantine journeys.
Yeah, it was. And it was kind of, so I have a 19-year-old who she had just left for college, like the summer before, the fall before, like COVID hit. But I had realized as she was getting ready to leave that there was a lot of things. So Chloe didn't start college right away. She took a semester off and she moved into her own apartment, which kind of is like a different situation than most 18-year-olds. So there was a lot of stuff that I realized that she needed to know in order to live on her own that I wasn't necessarily sure I had taught her. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like in this panic mode where I'm thinking about all of this stuff. I'm like, oh, wait, I wonder if she knows this, this, and this. And she kept saying like, I feel so clueless. I feel dumb. And I'm like, well, you're not clueless or dumb. Like, you've just never learned it. And then I sat there and I was thinking, like, we sit in school for literally tens of thousands of hours, like in our lifetime. And we learn things that we're never going to use again, ever. Pythagorean theorem. Hello.
Yeah.
But we're not learning things like how to pay taxes or even how to find a therapist or, just all of these little things. And so then I also, because I do work because of Dance Moms as an influencer as well. So I always am looking at like my analytics and my demos. And I have a really strong 18 to 25 female demo who follows me on everything. And so like the running joke kind of became that I was this cyber mom almost because everyone would like ask me this advice.
That is great. Yes.
Yeah. And it just kind of evolved into, you know what? I have this platform and I have these young women. So why don't I just teach all of the things that I'm teaching Chloe and do it in like a fun and cute way that's easily accessible. And it doesn't make it feel overwhelming because I try to like make it all very simple. But because it is simple, I think people overcomplicate a lot of it. And I hated the fact or the idea that we have these really smart young people out there who I think Gen Z are going to change the world. I really do. But they're like feeling inadequate and incompetent because they don't know things that nobody ever taught them. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do this. And it's been super, super well received and successful. And I'm just it's something that it gets me out of bed in the morning and I'm very proud of it. I'm super proud
of it because like I still need to learn how to adult.
I do.
I do, like, because I get I'm purple indigo, and I get like very overwhelmed, and then I give my power away. So, for example, and like, he's my husband and I trust him, but like, I don't pay any bills. And I think about that all the time. Like, that's giving my power away, not just like, God forbid, what if I was in a position where I had to learn how to do all those things?
Yep.
I mean, this is like,
that's funny you say that. Well, because I often say to, like, I speak a lot to sororities. Oh my God, I have probably talked to 500 sororities this school year.
Wow.
And I do it via Zoom. And that's a huge talking point that I talk about all the time, is like that power thing. I'm like, if you have to depend on somebody else, then you're not coming from a position of empowerment. And I'm not saying like that against you, because I mean, honestly, I paid the bills for years in my house and now I don't touch them just because I don't want to.
Yeah.
My husband likes to do it. Like, he's competent. Like, you know what I mean? It takes something off my plate, but I do know that feeling of like, I think a lot of women, I think a lot of people, but like typically historically it's been women who don't know those things. And so then they kind of feel inadequate. Not that they are, but just because you said you feel overwhelmed.
I do. And I think that like learning this stuff early is really, I mean, you can learn it whenever, but like learning it early is so good, because at least like, even if you go into a relationship and it's like, okay, my husband handles this and I handle this or whatever, at least you can do it. And at least you know how it works. Okay. Yeah. You have like these really, you made this really friendly, because I feel like this is your purpleness coming out with your yellowness. So your yellowness like scaffolds all this life stuff for us, and your purple makes it not boring to me. So like, I appreciate this. So you have like these sections or something. I don't know what you like these. Okay. So like money honey, like,
oh yeah. The 5 zones of adulting genius.
Thank you. Okay. What is money honey? Cause I feel like that's what I'd need.
Yeah. That's everything financial.
Oh
I mean, it really is. It's banking, it's investing, it's understanding. Like, I mean, I would probably put like insurance under, well, maybe I'd put insurance under health, but anyway, it's like, it's everything money. It really is. It's just, and that's such a broad topic, because that's credit, that's, investing, that's, well, I would probably put a mortgage under money honey, even though that's kind of help. No, I would put a mortgage under money honey, but yeah, it's like, that's my most popular category, because that's where people feel the most vulnerable.
Yes. You're so right, though, because they don't teach you in school how to buy a house. I remember like leaving college, and then it's like, okay, we're going to buy a house. It's like, whoa, am I being even told the truth, or how does this work, or like all this stuff. So, and this is a huge, one of the biggest purchases, probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make. And they don't teach you anything about that.
Oh, not at all. And then, I mean, even the other thing that I feel is like so important is, credit card companies will go and set up tables on campuses, and they're like, you get a free Swell bottle if you sign up for this. And then people ruin their credits for the next 7 years because they don't understand how it works. And look, I mean, I think credit is super important, and if used right, it's a major, major tool that you can leverage to your advantage. But if you don't know what you're doing, and I'll be the first to tell you, like, I have made some really bad choices with credit in my life and like paid the price for it. So I'm coming from a place of experience.
Oh yeah. Because mistakes are your best teachers. And I think people that have made the mistakes and then come around and be like, hey, here are the pitfalls you're going to find. That's the person I want teaching me things, because they've been there, did that, and can tell you how to dig yourself out of it too. Another thing I like about what you do here, you've just been very inspiring for me.
You're so sweet.
No, but there's something on here. I forget what post it was, but I was, because I follow it. And then it was about like maybe give yourself like 20 minutes towards something that you're not necessarily. What is that? Explain that to us.
I call it time blocking. I don't think that's like the definition of time blocking. If you were to Google it, it's just something I call time blocking. Sure. But like, I think during quarantine, especially, people got overwhelmed, not because like for once in our life, we had time. That was something we had always complained about, was we don't have time. But then because you have this vast openness of time, you tend to put things off. And then you kind of like catastrophize like these big things in your brain, and you don't want to do them. So I found that like setting your phone or a time cube or what have you, even a kitchen timer for 20 minutes, turning everything off, like airplane mode, like turning off your email notifications.
Airplane mode. That's huge.
Yeah. Just focus on that task for 20 minutes. 15 isn't really, it's a little too short, and 30 feels overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
When you say 30 minutes, people are like, 30, I don't want to do that. But 20 feels manageable, and you will be shocked once you start that 20 minutes, like how much you're able to accomplish if you like are laser focused on it. And then I tell everyone, when the alarm goes off, treat yourself, like have a cup of coffee, like scroll TikTok for 5 minutes,
right.
like reward yourself for doing it. And then that kind of like reprograms your brain that like, okay, if I do my work, I get a reward. It's kind of like a sticker chart when you're little,
yes.
like, I don't know. And it works.
Yeah.
Like, people have used it and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of something that I don't even know where that came from, but it just was something that I do and it works for me. And I'm like, here's some info.
No, that's good. 'Cause you're good at like breaking down. And I think what you said true, like, during quarantine, like we had all this time, but then it was way harder to use it. I feel like there's like this great expanse of time and I should get everything done. And I don't, so you're just like 20 minutes, like, let's just baby steps here, baby steps. Yeah. And I feel like that's so healthy for your energy and makes you feel good about yourself. It releases endorphins and it takes any anxiety and it like funnels it into, okay, like we're going to take our anxiety and take 20 minutes and then just, I don't know, get some form done that we've been pushing or redo something or refinance or whatever we got to do.
Yeah, I love stuff. I love the energetic angle to that.
That's what I get off of. I'm like, oh yes, like she's telling us how to like structure our energy. Because I always bring it back to the yellow thing. Oh, okay. Now, everybody must know that your daughter, is Chloe Lukasiak. And, she was featured on Dance Moms a lot. Mm-hmm. I told you when I was on your podcast, I wasn't like an avid watcher because that Abby lady gave me stress. But like, and I don't know how you lived it. Like, honestly.
All right, Michaela, that Abby lady gave me stress as well. I'm just saying.
And I think you got the edit sometimes of like the quintessential dance mom or whatever.
Of course.
But I truly don't feel you can, like, if Chloe wasn't self-motivated to be at the level she was at, nothing would have, you know what I mean? Like, I think people don't get that about talented children. Like, I can't make my kid do that. Like, and there's nobody could. But Chloe wanted to, so you were there to like scaffold and support her.
Yeah.
But all right, how do you feel about getting an edit when you're on reality TV? Like, how does that feel to you?
Oh, it's gross. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the equivalent to jumping out of an airplane and hoping that your parachute opens.
Wow.
Because like people have total control over basically, I don't want to say your life because that's dramatic, but your perception, like how everybody thinks of you. And therefore, if you're going to be hated online that week or if people are going to celebrate you. So it's like, it's unnerving. And everyone always, one of the questions I get was, did you see the episodes before they aired? Like, no, I watched them in real time with the world.
Wow.
And so I would watch them with a pit in my stomach. And then like something that people don't really think about too much is like each episode there were, oh God, I don't know the exact number, but we'll just say like 75 hours of footage for a 42-minute episode. So I can be normal for, 74 hours and 15 minutes. And then 45 of those minutes, I'm like losing my mind. That's all you're going to see.
Yeah.
So,
they're like, oh, good.
It's very, it's unnerving. And all of us, like every single mom on that show, we were fulfilling a stereotype. So if whatever we were doing wasn't like in line with that stereotype, you didn't see it, Like a perfect example is season 1. I was running a business as well as being a dance mom, but because that wasn't, and I'm using air quotes, my character, like it wasn't talked about. But one of my colleagues, she was a working mom. So that was featured because that was like who she was. And I was like, wait, I'm a working mom too, but whatever. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but that's just a good example.
Yeah, just interesting because, I think it's part of the perception that yellow purple women get a little bit too, that like, because you would get all passionate and then like come forward with like direct facts or like, I feel like the way that you would argue or the way that you would advocate was very like in your face or whatever. But that's but the other thing I wanted to talk about was like Chloe's a rare aura color, and we talked about this on your podcast too. She's a turquoise.
I know, and I was like, oh, of course she is, because for her whole entire life, anytime we've talked about like aura, or I've had her palms read, or anything, Chloe is like weirdly special, you know, and I'm like, oh that? God.
She's just, and then even before this, I looked at her Instagram, and I'm just kind of scrolling through, and one of the ways I can tell, because turquoises, it's kind of like an elusive aura, because it can kind of like, it picks up other colors and stuff, or it really reflects, it like reflects back other colors. So when I was looking through, like sometimes she's turquoise with purple, and sometimes she's turquoise with yellow, and sometimes she's turquoise with like red, and like she just kind of like probably what she's doing that day, or she's always turquoise, but then like kind of what is going on. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me. So now she's away at college, right?
Yeah. That's funny you say that she reflects back, because I see a lot, and this could just be her age too. I feel like a lot of times I see her like kind of morph into being a little bit more like whoever she's hanging out with. And yes. I think a lot of teenagers do that, but she like goes down these deep paths where she like almost, you know, embraces their entire personality. Yes. And I'm like, hey, crazies, keep yourself like, remember who you are. And then I'll get like glimpses of quote unquote real Chloe. And I'm like, oh, you're back, you know, but it's weird how I see her.
That gave me chills because my 6-year-old is turquoise. So I'm actively trying to understand turquoises to see what I have in store for me. And so now, because how old is Chloe? What is she, like 20?
19.
She's 19.
She'll be 20 next 2 months.
Okay. So now that you have like, you know, I don't want to call her an adult, but she's not a kid. Sure. She's an adult, right? Now that she's like an adult, like, you know, I always think of her as a child.
Ish.
You know, because
she's an adult-ish.
Yeah. Now that she's adult, ish, you can kind of see, I don't know, like where that went. You know, she got her through like a lot of the real scary years, and she's good. But when you say that, that gives me chills, because a lot of us, I feel like, have kids like that. And it's different than just you're hanging out with somebody and, I don't know, you start saying what they say, or you like what they like. It's like, where's your personality? And I noticed that with my kid. She starts absorbing people's personalities, and I'll do the same thing. I'm like, where's Abby? Come back. So that's, I don't know, that just like really touched me. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Does she see it in herself now?
No. Like that's actually, I mean, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
Like by no means do I ever, you know, pretend to be a perfect mom. Like we have problems just like everybody else, even though we have an insanely close relationship, and like, I love Chloe dearly, and obviously all of those things, but, we will get into some really, I don't want to say heated, that's not the right word, but intense, like butting heads when I bring that up. And I mean, we have got, like, she is just like, you're wrong. You know, I'm just, everything about what I'm saying is wrong. And like, we've gone, one time we went for almost 2 months without even talking because she was like, so angry. Now she's talking to my husband the whole time. So it's not like she's cutting off my family. But she's just so mad at me. And then it's funny because she'll come back and then she's like, you were right. But then she'll do it again.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't see it. So it's always like that hindsight when she reflects back and she's like, oh, I see it. But when she's in the midst of it, nope, she can't see it at all.
That's amazing to me because like, that I call turquoise is like the mirror. Like they're like a mirror, and like their power is to reflect, and they're not, but they don't always, if the mirror didn't know it was a mirror, you know, I think that that's the journey turquoises are on. Like, wait a second, I'm reflecting. This isn't me. My power is the reflection. But it's like just an amazing empath ability. Yes. That's fascinating to me. But I do see too with turquoises, they're insanely stubborn. And
yeah. Oh my God. Yes, Michaela. Great. Yeah.
More than, 100%. And they have got such huge emotions. So it's like the stubborn with the emotion, with the big feelings, and they don't go away. They'll like, she'll always come back, but I mean,
it's a struggle. And I'm like, it's whether it's my aura or however else you want to look at like my personality, but I guess my personality is really driven by that. Yeah. But like we butt heads a lot on those things because I'm very like, like you said, I'm in your face. I say it, and then that hurts her feelings. And I'm like, well, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but my job as your mom is to like look out for you and protect you and like make you aware of these things. And she's like, your job is just to love me. And I'm like, no, my job is to love you and guide you.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Right.
And she loves like deeply and fiercely and wholly and like, you know, and very, very empathetic, like beyond empathetic. I mean, she feels things that, you know, I'm being dramatic, obviously, but if like somebody picked a flower, she'd be like, oh, you know, like I felt that flower's pain. Like,
that's the thing.
Literally like that.
When I was watching, I remember too, like when I would watch intermittent, like some of the Dance Mom episodes, like Chloe has a very ethereal presence to her. And I can see like when I love to watch artists do their art. So like when she would, and that's why I love, like when I would watch, I'd watch the girls dance and try to see what their vibes were or whatever. And Chloe was like so ethereal. She'd like become the dance or become the movements, but also she got passed over a lot. And that's when your yellow purple's like, hey, like, you know, like that.
100%.
But she really, like, it's almost like the commitment was zero ego. It was 100% the artistry of it, and just at that old soul level. Like, that's what I'm getting deep now. But I'm like I'd see this, like, how old was she when you guys started? Because she was little.
9. She's 9.
I mean, to see a 9-year-old just like melt into the music or melt into the, I mean, it's breathtaking.
Oh my God. That like made my heart squeeze. Aww. Like, that's so amazing. I can't wait to tell her that, because that's the perfect word to describe Chloe that I never could quite put my finger on, but it is ethereal. That's a perfect word for her.
Yeah, like her aura would get real fuzzy, like not fuzzy, like evaporate kind of when she dance, and it's really beautiful. Okay, so that's
she's
her.
Gonna love this. She will eat this up.
Oh, good. Yeah,
so
turquoise is. I mean, we will always keep in touch because I need to know turquoise aura kid tips as I deal with it now. Okay, so, and I think like just as a parent too, we all have to parent each kid differently. Like, you know, every kid needs a different version of ourselves.
Yes, because my yellow blue, she does not, neither of my children like respond to the way I behave with the other one. Mm-hmm. And they get angry with me. They're like, I would be blah, blah, blah if you treated me that way. And I'm like, but you don't, because I've tried that. Yeah. Because it would be so much more simple if I could just be like across the board and I didn't have to look at personalities and how they react to things. Like, I would love to just have a standard that I stick to, but I always have to go back and be like, okay, wait, it's Clara. Like, how do I talk to her? You know,
that's so hard. Well, that's a good question, because you're a yellow raising another yellow. How does she handle the adulting? I guess teachings. Is she really good in the kitchen or whatever? Is she domestic?
Is she domestic?
Is she crafty?
No, I mean, maybe a little bit. She's very artistic.
Oh, okay. Like how?
Oh my God. She has incredible talent as far as like drawing and like doing little projects and any like sort of art project that you would pick up from somewhere. She's good at, which is crazy because she's very, very, what is that, left brain? She's very right brain. She's really, really, really like intellectually smart, like in school. But she uses the other side of her brain as well, which I think is kind of, I don't know if that's unusual, but it seems unusual to me.
Yeah, that's cool. No, it's good. It's interesting that she can like express herself, but I think like being artistic can be very well, I just see like, for example, a lot of green people who are very scientific. Yes, your husband's super great. Like, they're very scientific, but then they'll like build a beautiful, I don't know, deck, or they'll like, you know, they garden, or there's always something that's like can be artistic yet scientific in a way, or like that.
I think of people like that. I just can't get past green because you told me Ted Bundy was green.
I'm so sorry.
No, every time my husband says something, I'm like, you have a serial killer aura.
Serial killers are always green.
That's crazy.
It is. And I think that, and we talked about this on yours too, because like with true crime, people always ask me that, Christy. They're like, what color is someone? And like, they're green. And I don't want to like give greens a bad name. It's just, I think there's just as bad killers that are like purple or red or whatever. It's just they didn't think it out so creepy. And that's what green people do anyways. They always just think things out. So it just seems more creepy.
It makes sense, though, because like you said, a rage killer could be a rage killer, but like a serial killer is methodical, and that's what a green person is.
And that's what stresses us out, that they think about it so much. But then when a green person goes to buy shoes, they think about it like just as much or whatever. So it's kind of weird. Okay. On your podcast, Christi's Couch, you always talk about things you're obsessed with. Which I love, because I always ask my yellow friends for like, what book should I be reading? Or like, what show should I be watching? So what does that come from for you? And what are you obsessed with right now?
Where does that come from? I don't know. Like, I just become very interested in something, and like, then I need to know 49 levels of it.
That's hysterical. It's so yellow. Oh my God. You're like detective. Like, yeah. Okay.
So, like, if there is something that intrigues me or catches me, then I don't just, like, watch the show. Like, I will go and I will Google it, and I will read books about it, and I will know every factoid about it, which is kind of like where the Ted Bundy thing comes from. Like, I have a weird knowledge of Ted Bundy.
Wow.
Because I'm so afraid of him. And I was just like, this is terrifying. But I do it in things like when I travel, I will really investigate where we're going and, like, get to the weird stuff. And then I tell whoever I'm with, I torture them with facts and stories and tell them like everything about where we're going and why we're going to do this odd thing and why it's cool. And like,
but I love
what
that
history was done here. Like, I have taken my kids around the world, and I assure you, they have seen things that most like little kids would stab their eyes out, you know, if their parent made them go. But I try to make it fun. And I'm like, okay, this is what it is. I don't know where it comes from, except that I can say I've always been that way.
I love people like that, though. I don't know if you guys, it's kind of a slightly older film on Netflix. It's called like, oh my God, was it Girls Trip or something? It's with like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey's in it. And The Wine Country. It's called Wine Country. And,
I have not seen this movie.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And Amy Poehler plays like your kid, like what you're talking about. Like she has like an itinerary, and they're okay, at 8 a.m. And everyone like freaks out at her. It's just really funny. But I love an organizer. That's why all my friends tend to be yellows, because I need that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it funny? That's like you gravitate to what you need. Maybe that's why I need a green, because I'm not, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to just kind of end this with asking you, okay, back to Dance Moms real quick. Like, what mom and you like meshed the best? Like, who, like, do you still talk to a lot of them? Like, who's a long lasting relationship from there?
Kelly, for sure. Kelly was like my partner in crime.
What's her name? Kelly.
Hyland, Hyland.
I gotta look at her.
Okay. Well, I think it would be amazing. Like, I was just thinking about this. Okay, so I have to have you back on my podcast.
Let's save it for that. Okay.
Well, because I want you to read the whole cast.
All right, I'm going to save it for that then, because I just saw her and I'm like, oh yeah, this could be like the longest thing. And I would absolutely love to, because I didn't really watch the show. So it's like organic, and you can tell me what you think.
I love that. And I think that there's something to be said too, which I think you and I could have a really fun conversation about. I feel like, even though it's probably not at this level, because just casting people aren't at this level, but I bet you, and you know this, most reality shows probably have like certain auras that are cast because they're like a stereotype of a character, right?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could go off on that. Yeah. Like The Bachelor.
I love that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. They always pick the same ones, and I noticed they never picked certain kinds for certain roles.
What are the leads usually? Is there a lead that's typically the lead, like a color?
Just like in shows like yours, like they will make the yellow women villains. That's like a big thing. Like across the board. Like even in Bachelor world, like, 'cause I watch a lot of Bachelor, or
yeah, I watched Bachelor too. I just didn't watch this past season because I've been talking to sororities every Monday. But
you kind of didn't miss much. It was kind of like
I heard that, which is so disappointing.
Horrible. It was really upsetting and sad, and the whole thing's just falling apart.
Yeah.
I have a philosophy about it though, because like their B-roll footage is always full moons, and it drives me insane. I feel like they jinx themselves. because they're full.
That's interesting. You know what? It is always full moon. That's funny that you're like, they're B-roll. I'm like, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because when I watch The Bachelor, when I was watching it, what I have plans to do this summer is I usually will go on my Instagram stories and I talk about things, which you would be fun to do this on your stories, like talk about like auras and people's color. Because I go on and I talk about it from a production standpoint. I'm like, that's a pickup. A producer made her say that. She would have never said that. I'm like, that's an OTF, which means that like there was high emotions there. So they want to get that reaction on tape, you know? So even though they're not, even though they're not like saying they're really upset, they're upset because everybody knows they're upset or they wouldn't have them interviewed right now. Yeah. Like that's kind of how I watch it.
I love that. I didn't notice any of that until I was on like Real Housewives. And then I noticed like the producers do kind of do different things during the show. Like some people leave at a certain time and others stay. It's like, why? Like,
and people arrive late so you can talk about them.
Yes. It's just little things like that. And it's like, okay, then it's kind of like, no, they don't tell you what to say. But at the same time, it's like kind of just the setting is so manipulated.
Yeah.
And it's really, okay, I love that. No, I do that with aura colors, but like usually on reality TV, there's such personifications of an aura color. And you're so normal. So it's...
Well, no one's ever accused me of being normal.
You're pretty normal. You know, I think they took the purple yellow thing and they just amplified it, like you said. It put you in these. I mean, you stick yourself in a situation and your kid is being picked on or something like that. Like, yeah, you're going to see yellow, purple mama bear, which is a pretty intense mama bear versus like maybe some other different aura colors.
Of course. Oh, well, this has been so fun. You're like one of my favorite people to talk to.
Oh, Christi.
I feel like we mesh.
We do.
Like, whatever our auras are, well, your aura, like however we go together. But I always love talking to you because you're fun to talk to.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Let's continue this over on your podcast soon because I love this stuff. And we thank you so much for being on, Christi. Where can we find you? Give me all your handles.
Yep. On Instagram, I'm at Christi Lukasiak, and that's Christi with a C and an I, so it's a little hard. And then my adulting is Adulting101 on Instagram. And then you can find me at Christi's Couch, like on iTunes, Spotify. I don't know the rest of all of the places.
Anywhere you listen to podcasts, it's there. It is a good one.
Podcasts, but it's always iTunes or Spotify for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Christi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to this podcast this week, you guys, to tune in. And as you know, this podcast is for you and about you. And I really care about each and every one of you. You guys take care.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.